In a kingdom torn by war, a legendary warrior named Kael fought fiercely in defense of his people. His loyalty and courage made him a revered hero among his men, but his enemies cursed his name. He perished in battle, but as he lay dying, he vowed to protect his people until his soul's end. This unbreakable vow tied his spirit to the mortal realm, and Kael was reborn many years later, his soul restored in a new body, with no memory of his former life, only faint echoes and a profound sense of duty. Kael was reborn as Caelan, the son of a humble blacksmith, living quietly in a village that had once been part of his fallen kingdom. As he grew older, Caelan began to feel the stirrings of his past life, in dreams and flashes of battle. Each dream strengthened his desire to join the royal guard in the capital, though he did not understand why. The kingdom was now ruled by the descendant of Kael's greatest enemy, King Edrin, a cunning and ruthless ruler who had seized Kael's homeland and declared it his own. Unbeknownst to Caelan, King Edrin had a daughter named Lira, a young woman who had never been permitted beyond the castle walls. She was beautiful, yet lonely, for her father had warned her all her life to never trust the common folk. She'd grown up hearing only tales of loyalty to her father's rule, and of Kael, the legendary warrior whose spirit was said to haunt the kingdom. One day, Caelan was selected for the palace guard, his skill with a blade and instinctive courage catching the eye of the commander. One fateful night, Caelan was assigned to the princess's wing of the castle, where his patrol brought him to the garden, a forbidden sanctuary of ancient relics and statues. Among the statues was a marble likeness of Kael himself. As Caelan stared into the eyes of the statue, memories of battles, oaths, and sorrow began to flood back. His head spun, and he stumbled, catching the attention of someone nearby, Lira, the princess herself. "Are you unwell, guard?" she asked, her voice soft but commanding. Caelan stammered, I thought I saw someone I knew, but that's impossible." Lira looked at him curiously. She had heard whispers of a brave guard who had joined her father's service, but she had never seen him up close. Drawn by some invisible force, they began talking, discovering their lives had been shaped by the same tales of war, though from opposite sides. There was an undeniable spark between them, a feeling of connection neither could explain. Night after night, Caelan found himself drawn to the garden, where Lira would wait. He told her stories of courage and loyalty, feeling echoes of emotions he could not fully grasp. And Lira, enchanted by his spirit, began to see beyond the walls her father had built in her heart. For the first time, she questioned her father's rule and the tales of Kael she had been raised to despise. One evening, they shared their first kiss beneath the moonlit garden, but as their lips parted, Caelan was overcome with a vision. He saw himself, Kael, clashing swords with Lira's father in a brutal duel. He felt the pain of his fatal wound, the betrayal, and the oath that had tied his spirit to the kingdom. In a flash, he remembered everything, and he staggered back from Lira, horror-stricken. "What's wrong?" Lira asked, her eyes filled with confusion. I am not who you think I am," he whispered, grappling with the weight of his past. "I am Kael, the spirit your father cursed to never know peace. I was reborn to fight for my people, against your father." Lira's face paled. "This cannot be. My father is a good king. He saved this kingdom, didn't he?" Caelan's heart shattered as he saw the tears forming in her eyes, the realization that her entire life was built on the ashes of his people. But he could not deny his love for her, a love that had transcended lifetimes. Torn between vengeance and the love he felt for Lira, he made a choice to abandon the oath he had sworn in his previous life and forge a new destiny. But their love was not to be, for King Edrin learned of Caelan's true identity and the bond he shared with Lira. Enraged, Edrin ordered Caelan's execution, determined to destroy the spirit of the warrior who had haunted him for years. On the night before his execution, Lira stole into the dungeons, risking everything to see him one last time. Caelan held her through the bars, swearing his love for her, vowing that no curse, no oath, would keep him from finding her again, even if it took another lifetime. In tears, Lira kissed him goodbye, slipping a silver pendant around his neck. The next morning, as the sun rose, Caelan faced his death without fear, looking up to the heavens as he took his final breath. His spirit rose, freed from its curse, and he disappeared into the winds. But Lira kept his pendant close to her heart, hoping, believing, that love like theirs could not be severed by death. And on the quietest nights, when the wind whispered through the trees, she could almost hear him calling her name, waiting for the day when they would be reunited.